This small cube is in millions of kitchens right now. You use it every day. You feed it to your children, you trust it. But what's inside this cube nearly destroyed a global company. This is Maggi. And this is the story of one of the food industry's biggest scandals. Today we're investigating 3 stock cube brands, and what we discovered will change how you cook forever.
Maggi is owned by Nestlé. It's the world's most consumed stock cube brand. Over 2 billion cubes are consumed globally every single year. In India alone, Maggi is a cultural icon. Mothers use it. Street vendors use it. Restaurants use it. It's everywhere. But in 2015, everything changed. Indian authorities tested Maggi cubes and found something shocking: lead contamination. Specifically, lead levels were double what's considered safe for human consumption. Lead is a neurotoxin. It damages the developing brain. It causes permanent neurological damage in children. The scandal was massive. The Indian government banned Maggi. Nestlé issued recalls. The company faced lawsuits. News headlines screamed about poisoned cubes. Mothers panicked. Restaurants removed Maggi from shelves. Here's what nobody talks about: the lead contamination wasn't an accident. It came from the manufacturing process. Maggi cubes are made in factories with complex machinery. The lead likely came from industrial equipment or contaminated raw materials. The company knew about this. They knew for years before getting caught. After the scandal, Maggi reformulated. They claim the lead issue is fixed. But the question remains: if they lied about lead contamination, what else are they hiding? Let's look at what's in Maggi today. The ingredient list includes salt, bulking agents, flavor enhancers, spices, and vegetable fat. That's deliberately vague. The real ingredients include monosodium glutamate (MSG) in massive quantities. One Maggi cube contains approximately 900 milligrams of sodium. That's 39% of your entire daily recommended intake. In one single cube. A typical soup made with 1 cube gives you a meal with nearly 40% of your daily sodium limit before you add any other ingredients. But here's the thing that should concern you: Maggi sold in India and Southeast Asia has MSG levels 3 times higher than versions sold in Europe or North America. The company uses different formulations for different regions. Why? Because regulations in Europe are stricter. The company gives Asian consumers a more aggressive product because they know they can get away with it. The taste of Maggi is distinctly salty and umami forward. This comes from the massive MSG content. The seasoning is designed to be addictive. Food scientists know that high MSG creates flavor satisfaction. It makes cheap products taste acceptable. It hooks consumers on a taste profile that becomes hard to replicate without MSG. For children, Maggi is particularly concerning. Young brains are still developing. High sodium intake at young ages establishes unhealthy taste preferences. Children who grow up eating heavily salted foods become adults who crave salt. Maggi is explicitly marketed to mothers as convenient food for children. The company knows exactly what they're doing. The Maggi scandal reveals systemic issues in global food manufacturing. The company didn't just make one mistake. The lead contamination persisted for years. This means quality control failed systematically. The regional formula difference is also revealing. If Maggi is safe in Europe with lower MSG, why is higher MSG needed for Asian consumers? The answer is profit. Asian markets are price sensitive. Higher MSG content is cheaper to produce. It creates flavor satisfaction at lower ingredient cost. Since the lead scandal, Maggi has rebuilt its brand image. They invest heavily in marketing. They sponsor cooking shows. They position Maggi as a convenient solution for busy families. The messaging works. Sales recovered. The scandal is forgotten by most consumers. But the product fundamentally hasn't changed. It's still extremely high in sodium. It still contains massive MSG amounts. It's still designed for addiction, not nutrition. For a family using Maggi once per week, 1 cube doesn't cause serious harm. But for families using it multiple times daily, which is common in India and Southeast Asia, the sodium accumulation is dangerous. Regular high sodium intake leads to hypertension, heart disease, stroke. The children who grow up eating Maggi develop a taste preference for extremely salty food. As adults, they crave processed foods and find healthy food bland. This establishes a lifetime pattern of poor nutrition. The real tragedy of Maggi isn't the lead scandal. It's that the scandal was addressed through reformulation while the core product, a sodium and MSG bomb, remained unchanged and continues being marketed to children. Maggi is convenient. Maggi is cheap. Maggi tastes good. But Maggi is also engineered to be addictive and is dangerously high in sodium, especially for the 3 billion people using it regularly in Asia.
Now let's talk about Knorr. This brand is owned by Unilever. It's incredibly popular in Southeast Asia, particularly Thailand. But Knorr has a different problem than Maggi. Knorr's issue is even more MSG than Maggi itself.
Knorr cubes are made by Unilever in multiple countries including Thailand, Indonesia, and Malaysia. The brand is positioned as a premium alternative to Maggi. The packaging is more sophisticated. The messaging emphasizes quality. The price is higher than Maggi. Roughly 20% more expensive. Consumers perceive Knorr as better quality. But the reality is different. 1 Knorr cube contains approximately 950 milligrams of sodium. That's 41% at daily recommended intake. Higher than Maggi. Plus, the MSG content in Knorr is intentionally elevated. Knorr uses MSG as the primary flavor component. The ingredient list includes salt, MSG, sugar, spices, and vegetable fat. Unlike Maggi, which at least lists multiple flavor enhancers, Knorr relies almost exclusively on MSG for taste. This is a deliberate choice. Why would a company use even more MSG than competitors? Because MSG is cheap. It's effective. It's addictive. Knorr can use less complex spice blends and instead rely on MSG to create the savory umami taste consumers expect. The Knorr brand heavily targets Thailand. In Thai cooking, stock cubes are used constantly. Pad Thai vendors use them. Curry paste makers use them. Home cooks use them in soups and stir-fries. Knorr has positioned itself as essential to Thai cuisine. But authentic Thai cooking doesn't use stock cubes at all. Traditional Thai cooking uses fresh garlic, fresh chilies, fresh shrimp paste, fresh herbs. Knorr has essentially rebranded modern convenience cooking as authentically Thai. This is marketing genius but culinary deception. The MSG content in Knorr is so high that some people report headaches after consuming it. This is a recognized phenomenon called MSG sensitivity or Chinese restaurant syndrome. The symptoms include headaches, flushing, sweating, and chest pain. For sensitive individuals, Knorr cubes can trigger these reactions. Knorr claims their MSG is derived from natural sources. They label it as yeast extract or natural flavor. But MSG is MSG. The source doesn't change its chemical structure or its effects on the nervous system. What's interesting is that Knorr in Thailand has different MSG content than Knorr in Western countries. The Asian version has 30% more MSG. Again, this proves that the company deliberately targets Asian consumers with more aggressive formulations. The pricing strategy is also revealing. Knorr charges premium prices based on brand positioning while using cheaper ingredients than competitors. The profit margin is extreme. The company spends heavily on marketing while spending minimally on actual ingredient quality. For consumers, Knorr represents the premium option. Many people choose Knorr over Maggi believing it's higher quality. But they're actually getting more MSG and similar sodium levels in a cube that costs 20% more. Knorr versus Maggi is a fascinating comparison. Both are massive global brands. Both dominate their respective regions. Both are extremely high in sodium, but they achieve similar results through different strategies. Maggi uses multiple flavor enhancers plus massive salt amounts. Knorr uses primarily MSG plus salt. The end result is similarly addictive but achieved through different routes. From a health perspective, there's minimal difference between them. Both contribute dangerously high sodium to your daily intake. Both use MSG as a primary component. Both are engineered for addiction. The real difference is marketing. Maggi positions itself as convenient for families. Knorr positions itself as premium and authentic to regional cuisine. The premium positioning allows Knorr to charge more while using cheaper ingredients. For someone in Southeast Asia choosing between them, neither is a good option. But if forced to choose, Maggi is arguably slightly better because at least it includes other seasonings in the formulation. Knorr is pure MSG reliance. The irony is that both brands would argue they're providing essential seasoning convenience for busy consumers. And technically this is true. But the cost is your sodium intake and your development of addiction to MSG-heavy food. Price comparison: Maggi, typically 50 cents per cube; Knorr, typically 60 cents per cube, 20% premium. Health benefit difference: negligible MSG content difference. Knorr slightly higher sodium content difference. Knorr slightly higher. This is the premium product trap. You pay more for slightly worse chemistry while believing you're getting better quality.
Finally, let's talk about Ajinomoto. This company literally invented MSG. They created the flavor enhancer that the entire world now depends on. But their story is even more revealing about the food industry than either Maggi or
founded
Knorr.
in 1908. The founder, Kikunae Ikeda, was a chemistry professor who discovered monosodium glutamate by accident while studying kombu seaweed. He isolated the fifth taste umami and realized it could be extracted and crystallized. Ajinomoto began producing MSG as a seasoning ingredient. They called it Ajinomoto, which literally means essence of taste. The product revolutionized cooking globally. Suddenly, home cooks could achieve complex savory flavors without extensive cooking time. For decades, Ajinomoto dominated the MSG market. The brand was synonymous with quality seasoning. Asian restaurants worldwide used Ajinomoto. Home cooks trusted it. The company was considered an innovator. But here's what's important: Ajinomoto knew about the health effects of MSG decades before it became publicly discussed. Internal company research from the 1960s showed that high MSG consumption affected the nervous system. The company suppressed these findings. Instead, Ajinomoto invested in marketing that positioned MSG as safe and natural. They funded research that contradicted independent studies. They lobbied governments to approve MSG as a safe food additive. They essentially gaslit the world about their own product. Today, Ajinomoto makes premium stock cubes. The packaging is elegant. The branding is sophisticated. The price is highest among the three brands we're comparing, typically 80 cents to $1 per cube. One Ajinomoto cube contains approximately 850 milligrams of sodium. That's 36% a daily recommended intake. So far, the lowest of the three brands. But here's the catch: Ajinomoto cubes contain the highest MSG concentration because it's their original product. The company's entire identity is built on MSG. The ingredients list for Ajinomoto includes salt, MSG, sugar, spices, yeast extract. Note that MSG is listed as the second ingredient. This is transparency about what the product actually is. Ajinomoto is positioned as premium quality for people who understand Asian cuisine. The brand has cultural cash in Japan and across Asia. Consumers who choose Ajinomoto believe they're choosing the original, the best, the most authentic. And technically, they're right. Ajinomoto is the original MSG product. The quality is consistent. The sourcing is reliable. The company has decades of expertise. But this is exactly the problem. A company literally built on MSG has perfected MSG delivery. Ajinomoto cubes deliver pure, refined, concentrated umami flavor through MSG. There's no hiding behind multiple ingredients like Maggi. There's no pretense of anything else like Knorr. What's fascinating is that in Japan, Ajinomoto products are less aggressively marketed and less commonly used in home cooking than in Western assumptions about Asian cuisine. Japanese cooks actually use less MSG than Thai or Chinese cooks. Ajinomoto sells to international markets more than to domestic Japanese market. The premium pricing is brilliant positioning. By charging the highest price, Ajinomoto attracts affluent consumers who believe premium pricing equals premium quality. The company has successfully rebranded MSG dependency as sophisticated culinary knowledge. From a health standpoint, Ajinomoto is not better than Maggi or Knorr. It's a different delivery method for the same addictive compound. You're paying more money for the privilege of consuming the product that invented the problem. 3 stock cube brands. 3 different regional dominances. 3 different marketing strategies. But fundamentally, all 3 are sodium and MSG bombs designed for addiction. Maggi, most popular globally. Tainted by lead scandal. Uses multiple additives plus MSG. 900 mg sodium per cube. Most affordable option. Marketed to families and children. Knorr, dominant in Southeast Asia. Premium positioning. Relies almost exclusively on MSG, 950 mg sodium per cube. 20% price premium. Authenticity marketing deception. Ajinomoto, premium brand. The MSG originator. Highest MSG concentration. 850 mg sodium per cube, but most concentrated umami. Highest price point. Marketed to sophisticated consumers. When ranked by health impact, all 3 are equally problematic for regular consumption. When ranked by transparency, Ajinomoto is most transparent about being MSG-based. Maggi attempts to hide MSG among other additives. Knorr heavily emphasizes MSG without directly saying it. When ranked by deception, Knorr is most deceptive about authenticity. Maggi is most deceptive about child safety. Ajinomoto is most deceptive about premium quality justifying price. The real scandal isn't that these products exist. Busy families need convenient seasoning. The scandal is that a $3 billion industry is built on addicting people to MSG and sodium without informed consent. None of these companies will tell you that the taste you crave is chemical addiction. None will tell you that your children are developing salt-addicted taste preferences. None will tell you about the health risks of regular consumption. Instead, they invest billions in marketing that positions these cubes as essential, authentic, convenient, or quality-oriented. The solution is simple: use fresh ingredients. Make your own stock. Use minimal salt. Avoid these cubes entirely. But for billions of people, this isn't practical. They don't have time. They don't have resources. They need convenience. Stock cubes provide that. But the cost is your health. 3 stock cube brands. 3 billion daily users. One universal problem: addiction through MSG and sodium. Maggi contaminated your food with lead and got away with it. Knorr charges you more for chemistry that's worse. Ajinomoto invented the addiction and profits from it. These companies aren't evil. They're efficient. They've solved the problem of making cheap food taste acceptable. But the solution is your health. If you use stock cubes regularly, understand what you're consuming. If you feed them to children, understand what taste preferences you're establishing. The convenient choice isn't always the healthy choice. Sometimes it's the profitable choice. Next week we're investigating instant noodle flavor packets. The sodium levels are even worse than stock cubes. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Like this if you had no idea Maggi had a lead contamination scandal. Comment which stock cube you use. Share this with anyone who cooks with stock cubes. Thank you for watching. Stay informed.